Shalom everyone, and today we're studying Parashat Nitsavim. You can find it in the book of Deuteronomy, Dvarim, chapter 29, verse 9. This parasha is always the parasha read on the Shabbat before Rosh HaShanah. Okay, so if it's read on the Shabbat before Rosh HaShanah, it has a message for us because especially this year, on Rosh HaShanah, it's a Shabbat, so we don't read the regular parasha on the Shabbat of Rosh Hashanah. That will be read a week later. And on this Shabbat, on the Shabbat of Rosh Hashanah, we read the Rosh Hashanah reading, as usually in holidays. So we have the parasha that prepares us for Rosh Hashanah. It is always Parashat Nitsavim, this parasha. So we have 2 weeks of preparation from now on. What is this parasha? So as we said, it has to be connected to Rosh Hashanah. And if we look carefully at the text, to remind the people who were not with us in a previous parashot of the book of Dvarim, Deuteronomy, Parashat Nitsavim is part of the last speech of Moses on the occasion that he's departing from the Israelites and he's going up to heaven. So that started on the new moon of the month of Shvat, and on the day that he departs, Moses is leaving on his birthday on the 7th of Adar, 5 weeks later. So we are within this period, and Atem Nitzavim Hayom, it looks from the commentaries that we are talking about today, which is the day of Moses' departure. So when he says, you are standing today, all of you, so there is a kind of two opinions among the commentators. What does it mean, Hayom, today, this day? And some say, when we learn the story, that had to be the 7th day of Adar, Pisces, the day that Moses went up to the mount and never came back in a physical body. Okay? Thehowever, when we speak about the day, which means Hayom is the today, there's no translation to it into English, which means Hayom is the day of today. What is the day? That's Rosh Hashanah. This is the day that all of human beings are standing in front of the heavenly court, because a new year is starting and everyone must appear to court to receive the bliss and the fortune of the coming year, which is the new moon of the month of Tishrei, Libra. So when it says you're standing here today, all of you, Lifnei Adonai Elohim, in front of the Lord your God, Rashichem, Shivtechem, Ziknechem, Shotrechem, Kol Ish Yisrael, your leaders, the leaders of the tribes, your elders, your policemen, every person in Israel. Then it goes on, verse 10, Tapchem, Neshechem, V'girchasha B'kerem Machanecha, your children, your women, the converts that joined you, from everyone, from the one who cut the wood to the ones who's the water bearer. Now, what is it? What's the message for us for Rosh Hashanah? And first, it is the name of the parasha, Nitsavim. Now, I translated it as you standing here today. But the word Nitsavim does not really mean standing, because standing is omdim. Many of the commentators are saying it doesn't say omdim, standing. The word Nitzavim means omdim, but in a different connotation. When the word Nitzav means somebody we can translate it in a few ways. One, Nitsavim, which means reporting for duty. That's Nitsavim. Or standing in the understanding of assuming position, taking responsibility. And both are right in trying to understand that special word, Nitsavim. It is reporting for duty. It is assuming position. It is about taking responsibility. And how do you know? Because after the description of the first two verses, verse 9 and verse 10 in chapter 29 in Deuteronomy, then it comes in verse 11, Le'ovrecha bivrit Adonai Elohecha. This is your time to accept, to receive, to what's the word? It's very hard to translate to English because, as you see, the words in English do not exist. But it speaks about in order to accept, but again, accept is not the right word. It's like when you are taking in your responsibility for the covenant with God, the Lord your God, and all the curses, which means, what does it mean having a covenant? In a covenant, in an agreement, it says a party A, side A and side B, and they take the responsibility to supply A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on and so on. And if not, this supply is not, then there are going to be some consequences. And that's the word be'alato. That's what covenant means. Covenant means creating that kind of a commitment, and that goes together with assuming position and reporting for duty. What is the story? So this is very simple. How do we get the most out of the coming weeks? How do we get the most out of Rosh HaShanah, which is that great day of all days when the new year is starting? Now we have to remember, the biblical new year, the new year we are talking about, it's not just to commemorate the idea that we change the number, okay? The number is changing from 5783 to 5784. So what do? It's a very exciting moment, and we're standing in the city square waiting for the clock to click the first second of the new year. Then we have fireworks and everybody celebrates what? If you celebrate, New Year's, what's big part of the world is celebrating. So the last New Year was 2023. And on that moment, at midnight, the whole world, big part of the world celebrated that 2023, which means 2023 years ago, nothing happened. Why is this an exciting moment? I don't get it. I don't understand. It's like, so somebody decided that that's how the calendar works, and everybody follows without asking questions. Okay, here we have something very substantial. Every year, on the first day of Tishrei, the new moon of Libra, the whole world goes back to the beginning, to the moment the universe was created and humanity was created, which means we are talking about the creation. We're talking about returning for the beginning, which means it's like this is the birthday of the universe. This is the birthday of humanity. Why is that important? Because of someone's birthday, on that day, that person has some extra connection to the power that was injected into him on the day he was born, that power, which means that energy force that we got, that was instilled in us on the day of our birth, that power is a power that is still, what's the word? It's still in our veins. It's still that power that is sustaining our life. So what's the difference from the personal, individual birthday of every human being and the birthday of humanity? That on the day of the birthday of humanity, which is the first day of Rosh HaShanah and the second day, on that day, we all get our sustenance, our life force for another year. This is what we're talking about. And because this is being given to us, now we can have a say or get involved with how would that affect our lives. Now, let me try and explain how crucial it is. So, let's go to the very simple understanding. If we understand that there is a relationship between the creator and the creation, the giver and the recipients, okay? So why is it so important to report for duty, to assume position? Because when we're talking about the side of the creator in this covenant, that basically is, as we read it right now, this covenant is being reenacted every year again. And how crucial is that? Because when we understand the side of the creator, and if you really understand the core value of what monotheism is about there's one God that is always the same God, and he never changes, which means his promises never change, his giving cannot be changed, because he is endless. And therefore, the creation cannot change the attitude of the creator toward itself, which means the giving of the creator is constant, it is endless. The big thing is that each one of the creatures receives exactly as much as that individual can receive. And as Rabbi Ashlag, the founder of the modern Hasidic movement, explains in the beginning of his explanation to the Tree of Life of Rabbi Isaac Luria, and what he says is something so amazing for us to remember. The giving of the Creator is constant, it's endless, it's infinite, cannot measure it. However, what measures it is the receiving, the vessel of the individual that is being created, every creature. What determines how much we receive is not dependent on the giving of the Creator, which is, as we said, constant and endless. It depends on the vessel, which means the ability of every creature, every individual to receive. What defines our ability to receive? This is what we're talking about. And because, then Rabbi Ashlag adds, that we, the individual human beings, we cannot receive more than how much we want to receive. Now, this is a tricky issue. Because what do you want to tell us? We want to tell us that people who go through a miserable life, they wanted it, they invited it. People were abused, people were suffering through sickness, poverty, and all kinds of lack. Does that mean that that's what they wanted? Everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to have a great life. Nobody wants to be miserable. Nobody wants to be poor, to be abused. Nobody really chooses that. Yeah, that's the trick. No one consciously really wants it. Okay? But the question is like this. What is the size of our vessel to receive the bliss? Because here comes the trick. When we come to Rosh HaShanah and we're standing there reporting for duty, first of all, most people are not aware of it, so they're basically being judged not in their presence. If you understand, if we're talking about that day, which is the day of judgment, every year, Rosh Hashanah is a day of judgment, and which means every human soul is being judged in front of heavenly court. Now the point is like this: when you are not, when we are not really aware of it, when we are not ready for it, it's like whatever comes, it's by default. And here comes a real important thing. A lot of people do want to have a nice life. The question is, how much do they really believe in that? How much certainty they have in that idea that they want a great life and they think they deserve it, therefore they're going surely to have it. And here comes the catch. When we are full, during the whole year, not just on Rosh Hashanah, but when we are full the whole year with ideas like blame, shame, guilt, hatred, blaming others, thinking that we are not worthy enough. You know, we have, every human being has a life that has a lot of tests about it. People could be telling us we're not worthy of it. Our parents could be very supporting, saying, oh, my dear child, you are worthy of having all the greatness that the universe can offer. But you know, not every parent is like this. And sometimes your parents are very supportive, but not your teachers in school and your friends. And we have a whole environment, society, friends who basically are busy, brainwashing us about how much do we deserve. And also there is a question, how much do we cooperate with other people's opinions about us? Okay, so if somebody lives in a society that it's all about making money, let's say, you're being measured only by how much money you've got. Okay, but you're not very good in making money. But you could have an amazing, great life. But because you believe what other people fixate you in, you don't deserve because you don't have money, so you're not supposed to be happy. Okay, that's a problem. That's a problem. So we have to understand that when we are talking about Rosh Hashanah, from the point of view of the Creator, the giving is infinite, unconditional. From our point of view, the question is, do we report for duty? Do we take responsibility about how do I come in front of heavenly court? With what? Am I really ready to take position? Am I really ready to report for duty? Am I really ready to assume or to accept or to basically stand behind the covenant? And what is the covenant? The covenant is the original covenant between the Creator and the creation. When we were created in a perfect state of completion. What's the problem? We were imprinted by the image of the Creator, and therefore we had the need to create on our own, and therefore we could not staying in a perfect universe in which the Creator is the only giver, and we are the recipients. We needed to give. We needed to create our own happiness, success, grace, greatness, whatever you just name it, that is good. Okay? And therefore, the Creator gave us this universe that is so full of broken stuff so we can fix it, so we can put it together, so we can create, take a broken heart, a broken ideas, put them together and make ourselves the perfect vessel to receive the Creator's bliss. The moment of reporting for duty, making the summary of the whole year, march towards perfection, towards taking that responsibility for whatever is happening to us, which means fighting always the wrong opinions, the wrong ideas, either that they were created by others about us, or we just got it from others because we were influenced by them, or we got it by ourselves because we have so much shame because of so many failures. And people fail, and after a few times, sometimes after only one time, they give up on trying all over again. And we know that the definition of failing means that you stopped trying. And if we understand that the giving of the Creator is unconditional and infinite, it means that when we stop trying, when we give up on our own happiness and well-being because we don't believe the world will allow it to us, we don't believe that we are capable of achieving that, we don't believe that we deserve it because we are so not perfect. Whatever is the story is that finally we're standing there in front of heavenly court, and the question is, how much do you believe that you deserve to receive? Why? Because from the point of view of the Creator, the giving, as we said, is endless. What really determines our happiness, our success, the amount of bliss we're going to get on Rosh HaShanah for the coming year, depends only on our state of mind. Not state of mind, it's like really subconscious. Are we reporting for duty? What is the duty? The duty is that we came to this universe for one purpose and one purpose only, to become the perfect vessels to receive God's light. That's our purpose. We have no other purpose. Now, this is the purpose. Now, what are the means to achieve that purpose? We need to be, or to learn how to become creators, because we have first to accept the idea that we are responsible. That's why Nitsavim. It's about responsibility. It's about assuming position. It's about realizing that if I'm not going to achieve the happiness I'm looking for, no one will ever do it for me. And no one will wait for me, because whoever is waiting will keep on waiting. So it's all about standing there and saying, I'm really, really willing to accept the idea that I'm capable of receiving infinite bliss, happiness, and success for the coming year. Okay, I'm ready to receive that, and I'm willing to pay the price, which means to be, as we learned last week, the first thing is to appreciate what you've got. If you don't appreciate what you've got, you don't have a vessel to receive anything beyond that. So the first thing is, I'm not here to complain, I'm not here to blame, I'm not here to hate, I'm not here to be sour or bitter about anything. I'm here to upgrade my idea, my perception of reality and how much reality has in store for me. And the more we convince ourselves that whatever reality has in store for me is endless, the more we are capable to receive. Again, because if somebody has a cup of 20 ounces, of course, you come to an ocean full of bliss. You cannot fill up more than 20 ounces. In order to receive more, you need to find a bigger cup. Okay, and if the cup will be 24 ounces and a half, you cannot receive more than 20 ounces and a half. We are in an ocean of bliss. That bliss that is radiating from the creation and on for eternity. That radiation from the moment of the creation never stopped radiating. What makes the difference between one person and another, or the same person in different times of his life, is how much is the vessel that we built to receive that bliss. And that means how appreciative we are, how much do we have faith in our ability to receive, how much faith we have in the Creator's giving to us. And basically that what makes the whole story of how the next year is going to look like. So when it says here about standing there, reporting for duty, we have that great, amazing opportunity on Rosh HaShanah. It's a day of judgment. Why? Because the word judgment means delay. You know, somebody has a lot of judgments. So what does it mean? He cannot receive what he wants or what he dreams about. And there's so many obstacles, and these obstacles are delays. Finally, if we really understand the concept of the creation, that there's not one soul that would not receive the bliss of the Creator. Why? The sages explain it in a very simple way. The Creator created us to receive His light. Okay? If one of us does not receive that light, the blame is not on us, it's about the Creator. You know, who's responsible for the quality of the product? The product itself? You never blame the product, you blame or you put responsibility on the production line, on the factory, on the whoever is responsible for the production. Okay, the owner of the factory. The owner of the factory is the Almighty God, the creator of the heaven and the earth, the whole universe. He created us to receive His light. The fact that someone does not receive His light, that's a problem with him, not with us. He's more invested in that than us. Okay? So therefore you understand in the book of Samuel 1, chapter 14, verse 14, when it says, Ki lo idach mimeno nidach. No one will ever be outcast from the fold, which means there's no option that the soul is not going to finally, after many trials and tribulations and lifetimes and so on, finally every soul is going to reach the place it was intended to reach, which is to be a perfect vessel to the Creator's light. Okay? Now, convincing ourselves that this is our destiny, that this is our calling, that we have no other destiny than that. Oh, the road for that will be different for every unique person, because every person was created unique and different than anyone else. Okay? But the covenant is what is important. The covenant means that we have to embrace that responsibility. Why? Because of the law of no coercion in spirituality. You cannot force somebody to be happy. You cannot force somebody to be successful. Why? Because this is part of having the image of the Creator in each one of us. And that means that we cannot accept someone else's grace without us creating the ability. So that's the name of the whole game. Rosh HaShanah is the day we can really assume position. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. We need the preparation. And the preparation, according to the sages, is the whole year. The whole year we're supposed to work on that attitude, on that perception of reality. So when we come to Rosh Hashanah, we can look back and say, my dear beloved Creator, I did my best. I made so much effort. I invested so much energy in trying to become the best vessel for your light as possible. So now I'm ready to receive whatever I'm deserved right now. Now, we still have a little bit less than 2 weeks, okay? So whoever did not work during the last year, this is the time, especially in the month of Elul, this is the time to do that teshuvah, which means returning to the truthful image we have deep inside us about who is the person we would like to become. What is the person we would like to become? What is the creature we became to fulfill in our lives on earth? Okay, so that, but in order to prove that it's not just the nation of Israel with Moses, we have verse 13 where it says, "Velo itchem levadchem anochi koret et habrit hazot v'et ha'ala hazot." It's not you only that I make the covenant with, but whoever is with us today, verse 14, today in front of God, and whoever is not with us, everybody is here. Everybody belongs to that covenant. You remember or not, you want it or not, this is the rule. Okay, now, in order to strengthen the idea, we have amazing verses coming after that, and all kinds of amazing prophecies that Moses is sharing with us about the future. Now we read these prophecies, for instance, chapter 29 and verse 21, and over there it says that when you are going to sin and going to go to exile, and the land is going to be finally so much desolated, verse 21, and the last generation will look at that land, the promised land, and see the plagues of that land, and the illness of that land, and the desolation, and they will ask, nothing will grow in that land. And all of the nations will say, why is that happening to this land? And they say, this is because that nation that belongs to that nation, to that land, left the covenant. And the result, the consequences, is the land is being simply cursed. Okay? And over here, we already see, because when we read the reports of people who visited the land of Israel during the last few centuries, that's exactly the report written over here. Desolation. One of the most famous is the report of Mark Twain. Mark Twain visited in the mid-19th century in Israel. He toured the whole country, and his report is identical to what's written over here. He says, you just walk for days, and you don't see a soul. It's just barren land, like cursed. You could see that there's a future, there's an opportunity, but the land is so desolated, so lost, so much destroyed. And there's few people you see here and there, they look so horrible. Like, this is really a curse. Okay? So That already happened. And it says, and then when all of these curses are going to come true, and you're going to return to the Lord your God, and then he will bring you back to the land. And that's verse 3, chapter 30. Veshav Hashem Elokecha et shvutecha. And the Lord your God will make your return, will give you mercy, and he will collect you from all the nations that he threw you around the world. And if you're being like gone, far away, like it's the end of the heavens, he will bring you back home. Okay, that already happened in our days. We could see it with our eyes. Now, but we're still in the middle of the prophecy. Still, for our main issue right now, which means me, the Creator, and my destiny in the coming year, comes that amazing verse 11, chapter 30 in Deuteronomy. כי המצווה הזאת אשר אנוכי מצווך היום, לא נפלאתי ממך ולא רחוקה היא. The mitzvah, the precept that I'm giving you today, it's not such a wonder, and it's not so far. And it continues, verse 12. לא בשמיים היא לאמור, מייללנו השמיים ויקחה לנו. It's not in the heavens that we need somebody to go for us to the heavens and bring it down for us. And then we'll know what to do. ולא מעבר לימי, and it's not across the ocean that we have to ask for someone to cross the ocean and bring it to us. כי קרוב אליך הדבר מאוד, verse 14, because this thing is very close to you. בפיך ובלבבך לעשותו. Just it's your mouth and your heart. It's tough, right? It's not. If you're looking for something really beyond, no, it's not. It's just you have to assume position and take responsibility. It's in your mouth. It's the words you say and the what you don't say. And it's your heart. Today they call it being present. It's like when you say something, mean it. When you feel something, mean it. Today the destruction is so huge. With all the stuff that we are exposed to, especially through the media, on the screens, and all what's happening here, everything is such a fast pace that you cannot, it's almost, it is impossible to be able to understand all the information uploaded to the clouds right now about politics, about news, about science, about medicine, about anything. One human being cannot follow that flood, that ocean of wisdom and information that is flooding the universe. And that's exactly the prophecy of the Zohar, that we are totally flooded by all of that treasure that was hidden for so long. But we have to remember, that has nothing to do with what we're saying. It's all about shutting down all the noise, quieting the mind and the heart, and with appreciation, learning how to receive the bliss the Creator is giving every day, the whole day, but especially on Rosh HaShanah. And here, if you don't understand it, it goes to verse 15. ראה נתתי לפניך היום את החיים ואת הטוב ואת המוות ואת הרע. You have to see. See means, seeing is believing. You have to see it. You have to make yourself see, because that's something you have to create your own vision, your own sight. When you see it properly, you will realize I'm giving you today life and good, death and evil. Why? We cannot appreciate the day without the night before it. We cannot appreciate wisdom unless we experience stupidity and ignorance. אשר אנוכי מצווך היום לאהבה את השם אלוקיך. Okay, so I'm giving in front of you all of that, the life and what is good, the death and all that is bad. Am I just telling you, offering you? I offer you to choose life. I can't force you to choose life. Whenever we choose to be angry, to blame, to be busy with shame and so on, we choose death. And basically people do that for too long time, they simply deteriorate. It's not healthy, it's not making you wealthy, it's all in there. Okay, so, but there's another thing that is very important. When we spoke about that, כי המצווה הזאת, this mitzvah that the Creator is asking for us is not, you cannot look at it as a wonder, and it's not far away. It's in your mouth and your heart, which means quieting the mind. They call it today mindfulness. Quieting the heart and being there, being present, being aware to what we want to become and what we want to achieve. At the same time, if we stop thinking about the stuff we don't really want, remember, a person is exactly what he is focused upon. If I'm focused about all the wrongdoings, that's what I am and that's where I am. If I'm focused about all the dirty stuff that other people did to me, that's what I am. I'm the eternal victim. I cannot be God's vessel for receiving his light. Okay? I'm right now a vessel to receive pain and anguish. That's a matter of our choice. That's why it's repeating again and again. It's all about reporting for duty. It's about taking responsibility for what we feel, for what we think. It's not easy. And that means that when a thought is coming and it's not a proper thought, we have to find a way to deal with a thought, which means to be focused on what we really want, to appreciate only what we really appreciate, to be busy about focusing about the road, the goals, the vision, without lamenting the past and the losses. Okay? But that brings us into something much deeper, a deeper secret. The Nachmanides, brings a commentary that when it says that this mitzvah that I'm giving you today, and they say, what mitzvah? Are we talking about all 613? No, it says we're talking about the mitzvah of teshuvah, wrongly translated as repentance. If we want to understand the word teshuvah again directly to English, it means reconnecting. Teshuvah means reconnecting. Reconnecting to what? Reconnected to the vessel of the light that we were created. Reconnecting to that original position that we need to assume. Okay? So when we go there, Rabbi Ashlag is bringing us an amazing commentary. It is known, there is in the Midrash a legend that there is a discussion between the Shekhinah, the presence of all human souls, and the Creator. The Creator says, Shuvu elai ve'ashuva alechem. That's from the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 7. Return to me, and I will return to you. Again, return to me, and I will return to you. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 7. You return to me, I'll return to you, which means, since there's no change in the Creator, he cannot give more than he's giving. He's giving eternity. He cannot give more than eternity. So who has to change his position. We have to change the position. We have to make the move. Okay? While Knesset Israel, the Shekhinah, is saying, Hashivenu Hashem elecha v'nashuva. That's from the book of Lamentation, chapter 5, verse 21. Bring us, God, to you, and then we will return to you. Hakavana in Shemot HaTzedekим. The real intention is to explain that it's about the souls of the righteous. That they are basically the branches of the tree of life. And what does it mean? It says as follows. לכן צועקים, לא לנו השם, לא לנו כי לשמך תן כבוד. This is from Psalms 116, verse 1. 116, verse 1. Don't give honor to us, just to honor your name. Okay? אבל השם יתברך כי גיבור יצא כאיש מלחמות. But the Creator is like a warlord. However, so there is a place for the creatures, us, for us to work, build the vessel and enjoy our own light because we initiated it. Then the Creator says, return to me, I will return to you. However, the Creator is saying, I'm not thinking anything about me, it's all for you. Now what I want you guys is that you open an opening for me so I can return to you. What is the summary for that? This is the major key idea for success during the high holiday prayers. Either Rosh HaShanah, the first 2 days, and the 10 days of repentance, and Yom Kippur. And also for your Sukkot, all of those days. All of these days are about one thing. When we are busy trying to understand how much the Creator wants to give us, we'll never come out right out of it. So yes, we can say, God, we suffered so much, we repent, we want to finish that, we want a better life, but look, we suffered so much, should have some mercy for us. No. What he's saying is, we have to understand that we pray to that attribute in the holy world that is called Vechanun. The one who is giving parole, even to people that don't deserve it right now. And what do we ask when we connect to parole? Is we want the treasure of the free gift. What is the treasure of free gift? And that's how important it is. If we come to God and we're starting to count all our limitations and mistakes, there's no end to it. If we are going really, and today everything is recorded. So you can go through your phone, you can go through all the cameras in the house, whatever was recorded for the whole year. And in the working place, everywhere. You can find so many mistakes we've done. If we are going to be busy with all of these mistakes, there's no end to it. There's no end to it. It is futile. Oh yes, we have to focus on some mistakes, which means you can't remember all of them, but we know usually it's repetitious. It's the same mistakes repeating again and again. It's the same anguish, the same upset, the same selfishness, the same blame. Usually they repeat. People are not very complex. When we're talking a person in a certain year, there's certain emotions that really rule the domain of the person's emotional and capacity. So just take those emotions and return them to the source. What does it mean to return them to the source? Instead of being busy of how guilty I am, which means, oh God, please return me. You have to be busy how much God wants to share with me. Because then, when I'm focusing on how much the Creator wants to share with me, I can finally reach that place, and through the blowing of the shofar, through the prayers, through meditations, I can finally reach that place that I can connect to, basically, to that place that I really believe that the Creator wants to share with me, more than I want to receive it. And I just have to say, yes, I do. That's a covenant. It's like a wedding. I do. I'm really ready to accept whatever you give me, without any judgment. Because all the judgments are coming from which side? From our own side. So if I'm really ready to reconnect, which means the Maimonides is giving the rules, I'm aware of the mistakes, and usually, as I said, I don't have to remember every little thing. I have to remember one thing. I have to remember that I made those mistakes, and did I really want to be giving up, to be in anguish, to be blaming? No. Is that what I really want? If I can let go, relinquish all of these emotions, let them go. And simply stand there and say, okay, as much as you want to give me. I'm ready. And that's what the Creator is saying. Open, a little opening, like an eye of a needle. Why? Everybody wants happiness and so on. Yes, but people are not willing to let go of all the troubles. As I said many times before Rosh HaShanah, when I was a little kid and there were lots of troubles, my mother used to say that her grandmother used to say, you know, if all the people of the world would be able to stand in a big circle and everyone will make a package of his own troubles and put this package in the middle, everyone will run to his own package, seeing everybody else's packages, and embrace that package. And when I started to learn these teachings, I realized what a big mistake. For centuries and centuries, we really believed we should carry a package of troubles. And now I realize that when Rosh HaShanah is coming, every human being is invited to take his package, put it in the middle. And as the moment of the new year has come, you can simply walk over to the new year and leave your package behind. Oh, this is tough. Letting go of the blame, letting go of the shame, of the guilt, and saying, dear God, I'm here ready to receive your bliss. That's a miracle. We are capable. We're supposed to. That's reporting for duty. This is like remembering the covenant. The covenant is not to suffer. The covenant is we will become the vessels and God will be the light, so we can be fulfilled with that. So this is the main concept of this parasha, preparing us for Rosh Hashanah. That can be reiterated in one of the amazing verses, verse 28 in chapter 29, when it says, "Anistarot l'Adonai Eloheinu," whatever is hidden belongs to God. "Vaniglot lanu v'aneinu," whatever is revealed is for us and our children, for eternity. And here also, Rabbi Ashlag is giving us a commentary based on the same concept. And he says, we know some people, when it says, "Anistarot l'Hashem Elokeinu," if we're talking about whatever is hidden is only for God, there are a lot of people that learn the mysteries. Okay? "Vaniglot lanu v'aneinu," whatever is revealed is for us and our children. We know a lot of people that don't even know the wisdom that is already revealed. So it's not about that. It's about all of this hidden treasure of light that is there, revealed by the Creator. It's hidden. Why it's hidden? because we don't know how much happiness, bliss, and precious whatever is waiting for us. So, our job, whatever is revealed to us, is to cleanse whatever we know we can. All of those judgments that we create, we generate, letting go of them and allowing the Creator to give what He wants to give us. Thank you so much. And we have less than 2 weeks working on it in order to get the best Rosh HaShanah, and that means the best year full of real spiritual light. And as Rabbi is saying, every year we cleanse a little bit more. We cleanse a little bit more. Humanity moves another step forward. Sometimes it's painful. Why? Because you start to realize stuff you didn't realize before. And if it's not painful, you cannot change it. If it's not broken, you cannot fix it. So don't be upset. As the sages are saying, all the troubles that we see a lot around, especially for the coming year, all the judgments, all the misunderstanding, the falling apart of ancient, old structures of society, economy, don't get scared about it. It's all happening to help us open up for the light of the Creator that is coming, so we can choose life over death, excitement and trust and hope over anguish, fear, and we have really to report to duty and make that choice, especially on Rosh HaShanah. Okay, that's for all of us. Thank you so much, and success with all your work.